It's summer, and that means summer games, pool time, and cornhole. I'm Kristen, and I'm with The Broken Masterpiece, and today my husband and I are going to build a cornhole set. We had a ton of leftover 2x4s and some plywood, and so we actually had everything that we needed, but here's your supply list for this project. Make sure to pause the video and write everything down. One of the big differences in the quality of the plywood you get is going to affect the cost. So for this one, we had left over a 1/2 inch thick piece of plywood. Now, you can get a very cheap piece of plywood for $12 at the store, or you can get a more expensive one like this for $40. We like this one because we didn't have enough time to paint it beforehand and poly it, and so we needed something that was real smooth, real sturdy. We decided to build this super last minute because July 4th was the next day. Now for the cuts for the 2x4s, you are going to, as my husband says, measure twice, cut once. Don't be afraid of miter saws, they're great and super easy to use and make these cuts on. We were using old 2x4s on this, and if you look at the longer pieces, they are warped. So as soon as we laid them down on the ground, we realized they are not going to work and they were going to bow and make the frame funky, and so we actually ended up taking those out, grabbing a different 2x4 that was a lot flatter. Now the frame of this is super easy to build if you have one of these Kreg Jig tools. You're going to set your Kreg Jig to 1 1/2 because you're working with a 2x4, and so you need to go in 1 1/2 because that's typically the thickness of it. And you're going to drill 2 pocket holes on each one for the inside to join them. Now the reason we made the longer pieces 45 inches is because we wanted the frame of the board, the front and back shorter pieces, to be 24 inches, so they were going to be the length of the plywood. So the 45s are going to be screwed into that. When we're working with pocket holes, we always use wood glue too. This makes these things indestructible. The Kreg Jig system comes with both bits that you need to drill the hole and then also to screw in the screws. These are Kreg screws. We used outdoor ones until we ran out. This system is how I've put together an entire patio set, coffee tables, side tables. The pocket hole system is fantastic. They also make little plugs if you don't want these showing, but this is going to be underneath the cornhole board, so it's not a big deal. Now, you can also get your kids involved. You guys showing my children how to use power tools is going to help them later in life. Once you get your frames complete, you're going to lay them on the ground, use some wood glue, make sure the plywood fits, and then brad nail them together. In my Amazon storefront, I've linked a cordless Ryobi brad nailer. It's the next purchase I'm going to be making. This one is great, but you do need to have an air compressor that works with it. I was pretty nervous about the measuring of the hole because I thought you had to have a drill bit to drill a hole this size. You actually don't. My husband has a trick. So I went 9 inches down and 12 inches in to get the center. Once you have the center, you're going to measure 3 inches out from all sides. With a sharpened pencil, you're going to rotate your finger and your hand around. I don't know if you can see him doing that, but you're going to place your finger on that center and you're going to hold the pencil and you're going to guide it around in a complete circle, doing 1/4 at a time. Once you have your circle, you're going to take a drill bit, you're going to drill it in to start your hole on the inside of the circle. Next, you're going to take your jigsaw. If you have one, this one's cordless by DeWalt. It's awesome. It's in my Amazon storefront. You're going to go in a continuous circle around the entire thing without stopping. You don't want any jagged edges because then you're going to have to do some sanding work. But literally, we just went around in one huge circle. My husband did it. I'm still recovering from back surgery. And it made the perfect circle. One of them was a little wonky, but we sanded that out. It was no big deal. I did not know a jigsaw could get a circle cut as clean as these. So I was really thrilled by this process, and I kind of want to make a bunch more boards. Next up, you're going to get out your hardware. You're going to need 4 wing nuts and 4 5/16 the 5-inch carriage bolts, and some big washers that will fit on those. Use the same trick that you applied with the pencil to create a half circle over the tops of these so that the leg can move in and out on the cornhole boards. The opposite side of this leg should be cut at a 15-degree angle. If you stand on the other end of the board or have it clamped down, it's a lot easier to move it around. The 15-degree cuts you're going to want to do with the miter saw when you have cut the 12-inch lengths. Easy peasy. So then you're going to line it up with your board. You're going to put obviously the rounded angle on the top because it's going to rotate from there. You're going to take your 5/16 drill bit, drill it in to get the same matchup of the hole, and then prop your board up and then drill it all the way through. You might have to jiggle that drill bit around a little bit because you are going to put in that bolt. You can use a hammer, you can use whatever to wedge it up. Make sure that that angle is going out so that when you place it on the ground, it's going to be angled the right way. We got bags at Academy for $35. I brought it the next day to our July 4th party and had a blast. It was a hit. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Next up, next week, I'm going to show you how to build a loft bed.